Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and I'm here in Elite Dangerous taking a look at Power Play. Now this is the first time I've had a look at Power Play. You may have noticed that I haven't had many videos released over the last couple of weeks. And of course one of those weeks I was on vacation, which meant that I haven't been around to make the videos, and when I got back there was quite a lot of things I actually had to catch up with, meaning that this is my first real opportunity to actually have a look at anything Power Play related. I didn't get the chance to have a look in beta, so this is all new to me, which is pretty exciting stuff. I'm still here in LHS 142, and you may have noticed that I'm now flying a Vulture, which I picked up a couple of weeks ago, just at the end of the last episode I made of Commander's Odyssey. And I'm going to take this Vulture and try and do some combat missions for Power Play. Now I have pledged my allegiance to someone, and that is Zachary Hudson, and there was no real reason for that. I did consider having a look at their ethos and siding with someone based on that, and I did also have a look at what items they give out and considered aligning with someone based on that. But ultimately I decided on backing Zachary Hudson because I was in LHS 142, and he also happened to be in control of LHS 142, which is a system I like very, very much, but now it's unfortunately under threat. I don't think that means someone else can claim it yet, but that does mean we get an increased upkeep cost. Well, look, we get a 0 upkeep cost if we manage to fortify it, but the enemy is undermining us, so we're going to have to continue paying our upkeep cost for the moment. I'm not sure quite how the enemy can take control of this system. They probably have to prepare it and so on. So these are the phases. We've got preparation, we've got expansion, and then we go into the control phase. Each phase lasts a week, and we can earn merits by undertaking tasks or missions under each phase here. So I'm not going to do any of the preparation phases because I want to get involved in combat. And for preparation, generally we need to bring consignments of Hudson's restricted intel from systems to be prepared. So basically that's shipping items, and the nearest system is 31 light years from me. Expansion, how to expand. Support President Hudson's federal security groups by siding with them in security operations against system resistance. In systems, another spelling there, mistake, is oh, we're getting interdicted. Okay, so I'll get to show you that in due course. I guess I'm gonna submit. I've had a few issues with my HOTAS, and we got 2 targets here. I've had some issues with my HOTAS and the power supply, which things seem to have changed a little bit under Power Play. They're going to run shortly, I'm sure, but maybe I'll be able to get both of them. Who knows? Yeah, I'll get both of these, no sweat. Vulture's quite a powerful ship. I do like flying this. So it's one of the Devolve girls flying these. Well, not the girls themselves, obviously. Ah, look, now landing gear deployed. There goes the little issue I've got with the controls since Power Play. Things keep happening on their own. The most annoying of which is it going into silent running on its own, which it's also done. Very, very annoying, because it means obviously I lose my shields for no reason. I'm not sure why. Now I have got a mod on here. See, my weapons have also changed, and I'm back in silent running again, so I've no idea what's going on at all, other than the fact that I've got a colouring mod on here for the graphics, so I'm going to switch that off, but they're still probably loaded in the background, so I may have to completely reboot the game. But my throttle's also accelerating again. A lot of odd things going on, not sure why any of it's happening. I know I've got no issues with my controller, so very odd. Let's get back to Zachary Hudson. What I'm going to do is an expansion mission if I can find one, because obviously we can help his expansion attempts by siding against system resistance. In systems, he has expanded into 2 typos there, as I was about to point out. Deliver the kill confirmations to any contacts in any of our control systems. So Rana is expanding 37 light years away. Probably going to take me a few jumps to get there, I guess. We got fastest routing on. Rana is right there. Hopefully no more than 4 jumps, I would hope. Five jumps, not too bad. Right, we'll get off to that then, and I'll see you on the other side. So here I am about to arrive in Rana, and unless there's any of it, oh look at that, very very low on fuel. They just about made it. I was gonna refuel, but it don't look like I can refuel from this star. Oh, fuel scoop is disabled, that's why. And let's refuel there very quickly. Right, now unless I can find any equivalent of conflict zones, I'm not sure what they're called now, violent protest zones or resistance zones, I'm not sure. We'll have a look. What I'm going to do is go ahead and dock at one of the stations here, just in case of the event of my ship being destroyed. I don't want to find myself back in LHS 142 again, so let's go straight to the nearest station, which is 600 light seconds away. A bit further away than I would have liked, but it gives me time to have a little bit of a look around in this system, I guess. Oh, there's nothing here. Oh no, military strike. Right, that is where we're gonna want to head to after having docked at Ali Hub. That will be what we're trying to do here. We're trying to expand into this system, so it'll probably be Zachary Hudson trying to claim this system, or my faction's power, or my power, whatever they're called now, trying to claim this particular system. It doesn't look like it's actually owned by anyone at the moment other than the local faction, so it should be relatively easy to do this. And indeed, looking at the powers menu, there wasn't much in the way of resistance going on here at all. President Hudson pretty much had the thing locked down. We'll have another look at that in a minute, the percentages and where we are in relation to all of this. Now, you earn merits for doing the particular missions, and the amount of merits you earn determines your rank. I'm alright with that. I don't mind a little bit of work in earning things, just like when you used to have to earn, or you still do have to earn credits in order to buy yourself ships and other equipment. But what I'm not a fan of is time sinks, and my dislike for time sinks is directly proportionate to the amount of time those time sinks actually require of you. Now, what do I class as a time sink? Well, some people might class earning credits as a time sink, but to me that's not a time sink, because you can come in, earn 1,000 credits, go away, come back 2 months later, earn 100,000 credits, go away, come back the next day and earn 1,000,000 credits, and you know, your credits just accumulate slowly. There's no real time sink there other than the amount of time it takes to invest in actually accumulate what you want to accumulate. Now for me, a time sink is something that eats your time, that wastes your time, makes your time and effort disappear to nothing. So in some games that may be travelling, not really so much in Elite, because you've got to travel across the galaxy. We don't have any instant travel for a very valid reason, and that's to make the galaxy feel big. In World of Warcraft, a time sink would be the flight routes on the birds. they've actually been reduced down in the most recent patch to make them a lot quicker to get to destination, but those flight routes are planned by the developers to take a set amount of time, and that is a time sink. It's there to ensure that players have spent a minimum amount of time in the game, and some of that is eaten up by travelling, something the players have no control over. And now in Elite and Power Play we've got Reputation Decay, which is a time sink. The amount of time that you spend outside the game is proportionate to the amount of decay or the amount of merits or whatever that you actually lose. So it's pretty much impossible to maintain a high reputation without spending a lot of time in the game. Now, I don't have a problem with that in and of itself, but I do really dislike time sinks, and generally I refuse to get myself involved in them too much. So the amount of time I'll be spending on Power Play will vary. See, what have I reloaded here? I must have shot something out without pressing any keys, and that's probably down to my oddness with the HOTAS going on again, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the amount of time I spend in Power Play will be determined by what I actually have to do, how many merits I can earn with the amount of time I actually allot to play an Elite each week. If it requires too much time to maintain my rank, then it's something I certainly won't be doing. But I'm not being all negative, I'm not beating up the game, please don't take it that way. That's just the way I play games, it's just the way I see things. I'm not a fan of time sinks, and that's pretty much that. Anyway, support President Hudson's supporters, the private military contractors, by siding with them in military strikes against the systems. And now there we know there's a military strike going on around here. So I'm going to launch off, and we're going to get myself involved in that. Now this docking here was the first time I didn't have any oddness going on with my control setup. I didn't go into silent running, I didn't have my gears deploying, I didn't have my hard points deploying in their own, so maybe that issue has resolved itself. I've still got the colour thing switched off, I think. Yeah, that's on again. Some people may think that looks a little bit oversaturated, but I actually quite like the stylistic colours it gives. Personal preference, but they're off for now. Now the Sweet FX colour mod I used to use was called Reshade, and that was slightly less oversaturated than this one, and I've used it in all my recent videos, but that doesn't seem to work anymore since 1.3, so I've gone over to EDFX, which I'm using here, and the colours are a little bit too vibrant for my taste here, but I still do quite like them. But we'll see how things go with them switched off. I'm nearly going back into the mess lock there. So we're going to look for the military strike here. Once the menu appears, military strike right nearby, handily enough. Oh, what's got on there? Don't quite know what happened there. Maybe my HOTAS is playing up again, or maybe I hit the control by mistake. These sort of things make you a little bit... I think you're going crazy. You think you want to start wondering if you've done things you haven't. Did I press that key or not? Or was it the HOTAS doing it itself? No idea. But here's a military strike with a very nice backdrop there, actually, against the setting sun on the planet with its lights. Hopefully we get the variation on city lights. That was once mentioned in a newsletter, and I'll put a link to that below, I think, because each faction, Federation, Alliance and Empire, were going to have different style of city lights on their planets. We haven't actually got that at the moment, but right, so now what do we need to do? I don't need to, yeah, I'm already with Zachary Hudson, so this is basically a conflict zone, isn't it? Right, So let's hope that things don't start changing themselves. Like going into silent running and all the rest of it on their own. What are we going after here then? An eagle. Lots of laser fire going on. No one directly coming after me just yet. I've got a B-rated shield, I think, and a couple of shield boosters here. Some shield cell banks. So I'm quite well off in regards of my shield, as long as it doesn't go down when silent running automatically activates itself again. Ah, here we go. Landing gear deployed. It's still doing its nonsense then. I was hoping I'd got away from that, but that's the sort of thing that can get you destroyed. Oh, I'm boosting on my own now. I didn't ask it to do that. Oh, I'm going to have to sort this out, aren't I? This really isn't very good at all. So, Federal dropship. I've got to stay here as long as I can anyway, for now. And I'll try and sort out the issues with the controller setup a little bit later. As long as they don't get too problematic, I should be alright. The obvious answer would be to unmap silent running completely, wouldn't it, from the control setup. Very powerful ship, the Viper, the Vulture, isn't it? Got two large laser hardpoints on here. So another change there, which sometimes seems a little bit odd, is not getting any bounty rewards for the combat, but we are military people here now, not bounty hunters, so oh please stop doing that. These weapons really tear through the opponents like paper. Now, my HOTAS is powered by a powered USB hub, so it's not the fact that it's underpowered causing ghost inputs or anything like that, because I know some people have that as an issue. Now, I don't know whether I get that because we don't actually get any notification of having successfully killed a particular target. Python Lawless. So what were we going after? Lawless here or enemy? What's this? Python. Where are you, Mr. Python? I did activate that boost myself. Now I'm going to go after a couple more and then we're going to head straight back to the station because I don't want to stay too long here. I'm just interested in seeing how many merits we can get for dealing with this. I don't know what the threshold is. I'll have a look in a minute on the transaction tab. That may show me something. Like I say, I don't know too much about player play. This is absolutely my first experience of it. Like a frag cannon or something there coming at me, didn't it? Or was that chaff? Now, I've noticed that weapons don't quite tear through the hull quite as much as they used to. The Vulture with its large weapons would tear through a Python in almost 0 time prior to 1.3, so I know the NPC AI has been improved and they actually modulate their pips now, so they use shield boosters, I think, and they'll transfer energy into their shields and things like that, so it all makes them a little bit harder to kill than they once did, although I'm shooting through their hull here, not their shield, so I don't quite know if there's some other changes to weapons having gone on there. Probably not going to make it to that Viper, am I? Let's go for another target instead. Here we go, just coming in range, and yeah, My weapon's even hitting that. Doesn't look like I'm hitting it even, does it? There we go. Had to get a little bit closer. Small target. Oh, my weapons have swapped out again. Handing gear will probably come out on its own again in a minute. If anyone else has those sort of issues, please do let me know, because I'd love to know what's causing it. See, my frame shift driver is trying to activate itself there as well. So I'd love to know what's causing that. It's quite a problem. And borders on making the game unplayable. We'll go after one more target, I think. And then we're going to head back to the station. And see what happens when we handle this in. Landing gear deployed. Okay, oh dear. Look like a madman flying this, don't I? Yeah, look, tear through the shields quite quick actually. No, the lasers aren't the perfect weapon for going after shields. Maybe some sort of a kinetic weapon, large kinetic weapon would be nice to have in one hard point whilst keeping the laser in the other hard point. I haven't actually tried that as a setup yet, so we'll have a look at what's got the outfitting screen at the station when I get there in a minute. And you can see my shields are standing up pretty good to the fire from this Python, only the outer ring's only just starting to fade a little bit. So, what rank is he anyway? Mostly harmless, yeah. Wouldn't expect him to do too much damage. Someone else firing at me? No, it's still the Python, and it's nearly taken down my first wing. Although it's now replenished itself. I don't know quite why that is. Maybe my HOTAS has gone ahead and used a shield cell bank on its own. Intelligent AI in my ship. It's doing most of the things itself, although not quite doing the right things at the right time. Alright, we've got two Pythons here now, so that's possibly why my shield is draining that little bit faster. And my weapons have changed themselves again and again. I'm going to actually come into trouble in a minute if this keeps happening. I've just fired myself a shield cell bank. Whether it actually uses it or not, it's anyone's guess. My landing gear's out again. This could be quite funny if it weren't so frustrating. Let's just have a quick look at the Python there. No, it's still at 100%. Right, I'm in silent running, which is what I wanted not to happen. And we're going to get out of here. There we go, we're out of Maslock. So we're going to head back to the station and hand in those merits. So, do we go to the contacts hub? I guess we do. Power contact. Oh no, that's just a mission telling us what's going on. Where do we claim? I assume it's not on the bulletin board. I'm going to just check there before I actually go to the Galactic Powers menu. That's if it's going to even load up. Look at this. Come on, hurry, hurry, hurry. Let's go to that instead then. Oh no, it's loaded up. No, nothing to do with bulletin board, is it? Because it's obviously all part of Power Play, which we can get to through here. So, expansion. Deliver the kill confirmations to contacts in any of our control systems. So, do I have to head all the way back here just to hand in 6 tokens? Really hope not. But it certainly seems that I can't hand them in here. So yes, it does indeed turn out that I need to hand these tokens in at a control station, which was a couple of dozen light years away from my previous location. And let's just get those handed in there, assuming we can. Redeem all applicable vouchers. You have vouchers for Rana, support presidents, Hudson's supporters and his private battle groups. Yes, let's redeem them indeed. We've got 6 merits. Okay, so that probably works out to about 1 merit per ship, which is going to take a very long time. Now, talking of time sinks, that was one right there. Now, I do understand there's in-game reasons and there's a lore reason for me to have to travel 24 light years or 36 light years or whatever in order to hand in some tokens. But in terms of pure gameplay mechanics, there is absolutely no reason for me to have to spend that amount of time travelling just to hand in some tokens and then that amount of time just to travel back to resume the activity. The only reason for that to be in the game is as a time sink. And as I say, I am not a fan of time sinks in any form. And the amount of time that a time sink wastes you is directly proportionate to my dislike for them, as I said. So that right there is not a particularly good gameplay mechanic for me. But that said, overall, Power Play does certainly seem to add a whole new dimension to the game, and one that I do quite like. It makes the galaxy feel a little bit more alive, a little bit more realistic, and well, it's a whole new face to the game, isn't it? So I'll probably be heading back to an expansion system, to Rana, soon, just 21 light years. Now, again, if I wanted to take part in Power Play as a new player, I've got a Sidewinder that can jump 5 light years or 6 light years maybe, or I've just got an Eagle which has got a similar sort of jump range. And if I have to keep jumping between these areas all the time in a small ship like that, that's going to wear thin pretty fast, at least for someone like me. But anyway, like I say, we've got this new dimension to the game, and it's perhaps just a case of Frontier refining it. President Hudson is certainly doing very well in this system, getting very little resistance there, so it looks like Rana's almost certainly going to expand in 3 days. I can't really see any reason why that's not going to happen. And indeed, all these other systems look like they're going to expand. The only one that might have significant opposition is this one here. So, that, in a nutshell, is Power Play. We'll see how it goes. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.